rippling waters of the Bay of Bengal that wash the sparkling silver beaches of southern Bangladesh attract thousands of tourists each year. On these waves also depend the destinies of thousands of fisherfolk who struggle to eke out their daily living. Mognamapara is one of scores of villages in the semi-saline zones by the shores of the bay. Its poverty-stricken people live in makeshift thatched shanties. For them, life is an eternal struggle for survival. Here, life moves with the ebb and the flow of the tide. But always, there is long and endless toil that barely provides a living. To most of the villagers of Mognamapara, the sea is their hope for a better life. Most of them are engaged in fishing or something to do with fishing. They are truly children of nature, their lives dependent on nature's bounty, fed by its resources, tormented by its winds. The tidal waters bring to the people of Mognamapara innumerable shrimp fry. Catching and selling this is the mainstay of the landless peasantry here and in neighboring coastal villages. This may be a seasonal business, but it is a hectic one, as prawn culture has grown enormously in Bangladesh in the past 10 years. Most of the shrimp fry for the shrimp farms comes from the natural collection by thousands of poor and landless in the semi-saline zone of Bangladesh. Here, the catching of shrimp fry is a family affair, with even the children participating. In fact, here is a situation where the more the children, the more the income. The children too have accepted such labor unquestioningly as a way of life. Unfortunately, this strenuous effort is ill-paid. With no access to the farms, the impoverished shrimp fry catchers have to sell the fry to the middlemen, who transport their purchases in bulk to the shrimp farmers up-country. The middlemen dictate prices, offering a pittance. Since the tiny fragile fry will not last the night, the catchers have to sell on the day they make their catch, and this often means at throwaway prices. Sometimes the middlemen even insist on credit for the fry, promising to pay only after sale to the shrimp farmers. All these leaves the poor catchers in straitened circumstances. If only the technology for preserving and rearing the post larvae were available to the poor fry catchers, they would not be forced to fall prey to the dictates of the middlemen. In fact, the whole industry would benefit, especially as only 50% of the fry survive the transition from riverbed to the prawn farm. The Bay of Bengal Program, BOBP, after surveying and assessing the problems and requirements of the villagers in this area, has organized an effort to help these poor landless peasants. Working with it is UBINIG, a national-level NGO, which has been instrumental in organizing and guiding the people. Using local resources and ideas, UBINIG has developed appropriate technology to meet the people's needs and is introducing it to the villages. As an answer to the problem of preserving the shrimp fry, simple nursery cages have been evolved. All the required raw materials are available locally, as is the labor. Bamboo for the frame grows plentifully in the villages, is cheap and light, but strong, and floats on water. Several long bamboos are firmly bolted, using bolts made from simple MS rods. These platforms, when brought together in a rectangular structure, provide the catwalk and the frame. Light but strong water-resistant logs are used to make pillars. These logs are honed down to size, to fit inside and slide through a barrel, also drilled out of thick round logs. This homemade equipment is an age-old device for piling, entirely made out of locally available resources and ideas. Used plastic drums, abundantly available in the port city of Chittagong, are attached to the frame to serve as floats. With float is carried to the water, and with a big splash and much joy is launched. It is towed to an appropriate location downriver, where the water is deep enough but protected from the waves of the open sea. The frame is now anchored to the riverbed with wooden anchor posts. This process of piling is an age-old tradition developed by these ingenious people. Light but strong water-resistant logs are used to make the anchor posts. These logs are shaped to fit inside and slide through a barrel, also carved out of thick, round logs. Keeping a balance against the strong current is difficult, while the wooden piles are driven into the riverbed. But the alternative is to erect a piling crane. This would be prohibitively expensive and totally out of the question for these poor villagers. And when it can be done this way, why do it another way, especially a more expensive way? Once the frame is in place, nets are fitted inside it and the nursery cage is complete. 3 nappa nets are fitted in place. This is so the fry can be graded according to size. The price of prawn fry is size dependent, with the larger ones fetching a higher price. A field coordinator of UBINIG explains that a cage has 3 compartments, 2 1 by 1 meter and the third 1 by 3 meter in size. The shrimp fry are caught and put in the first compartment for 2 or 3 days, then sorted into the second and finally moved into the third.
দ্বিতীয় কম্পার্টমেন্টে সপ্তাহখানেক থাকার পরে 7 দিন থাকার পরে সেটাকে তৃতীয় কম্পার্টমেন্টে নিয়ে আসতে হয়। এখান থেকে পোনাটা বিক্রি করার জায়গা।
The benefits of the nursery cages are many.
যে 100 পোনা ধরে
The catchers can now rear the fry to a size that fetches meaningful monetary returns.
100 পোনা ধরতো, হয়তো দেখা যেত 100 এর
Now
মধ্যে
the middlemen
40
cannot
থেকে
dictate
50টা
the
পোনা
price.
বাঁচতো। নার্সারি করার ফলে
They have to bargain and negotiate a
ধরার
fair
সাথে সাথে
price.
নার্সারিতে রাখতে পারছে, ফলে কোনো ধরনের কোনো
The survival rate of the fry has risen to an unthinkable 80%.
নদীর লবণাক্ততা এবং আবহাওয়া ঠিক থাকে
Of course, we would need at least 50 such nursery cages to serve the needs of the catchers along this river alone.
সেটা 10টা কেজ যথেষ্ট।
Each cage costs about 10,000 taka to make.
সমস্ত পোনাকে নার্সিং করা সম্ভব। একটা কেজে আপনার 10,000 টাকা খরচ।
The involvement of the whole family is strongly emphasized in this project, though it is difficult to get the women to participate on an equal footing. This is only natural in the socio-economic context of Bangladesh villages, which are very conservative and where the women are expected to do household chores and the men generate the income. Women workers of Ubinik thus concentrate on communicating with and activating the women of the village. They have succeeded in getting the women involved by getting them to do the work they have traditionally done, sewing. For instance, the women now repair the nets. The women also prepare the fish feed using the same implement with which they grind spices for their cooking. The fish feed is spread across another net, which is placed vertically in the nursery cages for the fish fry to feed on. Ubinig has also made contributions in the areas of health and child care. Its women's program also educates mothers to ensure literate children. And it has brought to these people a national objective, that of saving. The women are encouraged to save for a rainy day whatever they can from family earnings. One of the beneficiaries of Ubinig's efforts speaks his mind. We used to labor with almost no reward. We were forced to sell the shrimp fry at giveaway prices simply because we could not keep them alive. Now we can. Now we can sell them at fair and meaningful prices after nursing them for just a few days. We are willing to work hard, but we have no capital. There are no funds available to us either. We have the ability and the will to work. We only need some small capital. That's what we don't have. No more is the poor fry catcher at the mercy of the middleman. Confident in his own right, he now deals from a position of strength. Even the middlemen are helped because they are now assured of a much greater survival rate when they take the fries to the farmers. In fact, the whole industry is benefited due to an increased survival rate. Where there is a will, there is a way, which leads to progress.